You need a
Super
signature?
exciting. Oh, the meeting is in progress. Got that. Okay.
I'm here. I'm here, Ray, Abby.
All right. It just keeps getting better and better. Okay. Hi, everybody. This is Ray Pohl. I'm chairman of the Nantucket Historic District Commission. So let's confirm that the following members and people anticipated on this agenda are present and can hear me. So members of the board, when I call your names, if you could just respond in the affirmative for the record. Diane Coombs.
Yes.
Very good. Val Oliver. Oh, Val. What are
Oh,
you doing?
sorry, I was muted here.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Abby Camp.
Here.
Great. Jesse Dutra.
Here.
Fantastic. Okay. And myself. So that covers the board members, I believe, for the time being. How about staff? Staff members, when I call your name, Kadeem McCarthy.
Present.
Thank you, Kadeem. Holly Backus.
Present.
Esmeralda Martinez.
Present.
Fantastic. Okay, I think I got everybody. Oh, well, how about Terry Norton? Is she out there?
She is not. Terry's absent today.
Okay, I didn't see her name on there. Anyway, okay. This open meeting of the Historic District Commission is being conducted remotely pursuant to Chapter 20 of the Acts of 2021. Ensuring public access does not ensure public participation unless such participation is required by law. This meeting will not feature public comment. For this meeting, the Historic District Commission is convening by video conference via the famous Zoom app as posted on the town's website identifying how the public may join. Please note that the meeting is being recorded and that all attendees are participating by video conference. So please be very careful that other people can see you and hear you, and take care not to screen share your computer. Anything that you broadcast could lead to very embarrassing consequences. All supporting materials that have been provided members of this body are available on the town's website unless noted otherwise. The public is encouraged to follow along using the posted agenda unless the chair notes otherwise. Excuse me. We're about to get started on the agenda, but before we do, some ground rules. I will introduce each speaker on the agenda. After they conclude their remarks, I'll go down the line of members, inviting each person by name to provide comment, questions, or motions. Please hold until your name is called. Don't butt in. And further, please remember to mute your phone or computer when you're not speaking. And also remember to speak clearly so that Terry can pick up the minutes. For any response, please wait until the chair yields the floor and give your name before speaking. If members wish to engage in conversation with other members, do so through the chair. And finally, the protocol is that before I get members' opinions, I will give an opportunity to the public to speak. Anyone who wishes to do so must state their name and be acknowledged by and through the chair. Finally, all votes taken today will be done via roll call. Thanks. Okay, now we do have an agenda, and here it is. Do we have any modifications to this one?
Mr. Chair, we're going to be holding some applications, but it's probably best that we just do it as we go along.
I think you mean hold for a rep?
Yes.
Yeah.
Or for,
Unless
other reasons,
there's
simply
people
because.
waiting.
What was
True.
that?
Unless
Yeah,
there's-
actually,
Yeah,
okay, so
yeah, Val,
here.
okay, that's correct. So 2 Stone Alley, for instance, we are certainly not doing.
Okay.
Let's make this official. So 2 Stone Alley is where, Kadeem?
So 2 Stone Alley is new business 1207. It's number 5, but we're also not doing number 4. So neither emeritus applications, number
New
4 or
business
5.
1207.
Numbers 4 and number 5, 10 Lincoln Ave and 2 Stone Alley. We are not opening today.
Okay, all right, got it. Everybody got that? Under the first category of our business, other than public comment, we have items 4 and 5. to reiterate, for those of you listening, 10 Lincoln Avenue and 2 Stone Alley will not be heard today. So if you're in the queue hoping to speak on either one of those applications, you can take the rest of the day off, okay?
All right,
So-
Mr. Chair. So then in
Yeah.
old business 1214, we will, if Miss Williams is here, she can speak to it, but I'm pretty certain we're holding off 38 Prospect Street because they want a full board. John and Carrie aren't here, so they definitely want to hold that. And we're also going to be
I'm
holding
pretty-
23
hey,
Broad Street.
let's make that official, okay? Just so that we don't need to hold for full board or whatever kind of stuff we
Yep.
need to do. Is Linda on right now?
She is
I
not,
do
sir.
not. She's not. Yep. Thanks, Ez.
She's not?
No.
Okay, because, all right, let's see
So we're
how it
clearly
goes,
not
but
doing
there's a strong, very strong possibility for those of you that are interested in 38 Prospect Street, that will not be heard because we don't have, well, we have, I
We don't
believe,
even have a-
quorum. Myself, we have a quorum, but it's a 3-person quorum, which, given the amount of
Gravitas.
interest in that application, it would be unwise for anyone to proceed with a 3-person board. So I don't think that one's going to happen. But
I think
All right,
she said she was holding till Tuesday.
Perfect. Well, I talked to Rich as well, so there's just been a little back and forth there. But Mr. Chair, we can move on.
that, so that's
23.
it? Oh,
No, 23 Broad Street as well. That emeritus application, we will not be doing that either. 23 Broad Street will not be open today.
okay. We're going to have nothing to discuss.
And while we're
Agenda
at it, we
looks
might.
like Swiss cheese.
And that's actually all I have. I was gonna say Thornwell, but Luke is actually here, so I think we
Yeah,
can
Luke
go
is
ahead with
here.
that for now.
Yeah, okay.
Thank you,
very
Mr.
good.
Chair.
Okay, so assuming that you all now have a modified agenda, can I have a motion to
I make a
approve?
motion to approve the agenda.
Thanks so much, Diane. So on Diane's motion, Val,
Aye.
great, Abby,
Aye.
super, Jesse,
Aye.
great, Diane on your motion,
Aye.
and I'm in favor too. So that motion carries. Okay, folks. Oh, well, look at this. Jesse, you have the first application, so you're going to need to recuse. Move to the
I need to
other side
recuse.
of the table. Okay.
Okay.
And you obviously have a 4-person board. That would be the 4 members that are not you. So what's going on at 6 Coffin Street?
So if we put the application up, I can explain it better. This was a small spa in the backyard, pretty tucked away, not visible from anywhere. I believe the dimensions are 8 by 10 or about 8 by 10, if I'm not mistaken.
Hey,
Uh,
Jesse,
Yeah.
we have a picture down in the lower right-hand corner. Is it cut into that deck that we're looking at?
No.
No.
So
Okay.
yeah, it's about 5 feet off the deck, as shown on the drawing that's on that.
Oh,
blueprint.
that blue thing that's sort of floating there is the spa?
Yeah, approximate location. Yeah,
And it
Got
says
it.
7 by 12 on the application.
7 by 12. Okay, sorry.
Okay, continue, Jesse.
So there's some hardscaping there. The equipment pad is just to the other side of the pool. There's already some AC units there, and we plan on screening that as well, but that's more for the owner. Again, this is not viewable. Didn't have the greatest site plan to work from, so I apologize for that. But other than that, I can't really see.
It's
there's some
legible.
It's legible, yeah. And there's some hardscaping that goes in there. There's a slight elevation change. When you walk off the patio, it's 1 step off the patio, just to keep everything at grade.
Hey, Jesse, thank you for all that.
Sure.
So we all see the spa, the
Mhm.
aqua blue thing. What is the larger rectangle above that that's sort of like yellowish brown?
That is just the deck. That's the
The existing deck.
existing deck, correct.
Okay, so your proposal includes the C-shaped terrace around the
Right.
spa, of course.
Right.
Okay, I see bluestone patio. All right. Okay, so this is Sconset, Coffin Street, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
Okay.
And there's
so,
there's some pictures of the, from the road too on this application. If you scroll up, you can see those.
okay.
So that's from the street.
All right, very good. Holly, what do you have on this one?
Yes, Mr. Chair. So this is within the old historic district of Sconset. Sconset Advisory did not take a look at it, but I did. This main dwelling that's on the lot was built in 2002. So of course, an infill within the old historic district. As you can see on the site plan, it's not visible from Coffin Street. The bluestone patio that's being proposed is, I notate, sharp with edges, and I think some commissioners may have some concerns on that part. The equipment location is notated. Thank you, Jesse, for that. I would also notate that the left property line, as you're looking at the site plan right now, should have additional screening for that adjacent neighbor. Other than that, those are my comments, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
You mean that there should be additional screening proposed on the left side that is not there now?
Yes,
right?
sir. That's correct.
Okay, thanks. Okay, who would like to begin on this one?
I will.
Great, thanks, Val.
Aside from screening in perpetuity in there, here and thereafter, I don't have a concern.
Okay, thank you. Diane?
Yes, the deck that surrounds the spa, I would like to see relaxed corners so it fits in to the area in Coffin Street, because I think basically, although it is not zoning proposed, it's the old historic part of Wisconsin. It's too bad to fill up with spas. So, and I would like to follow Holly's suggestion of plant coming down the west line, where the view from the people across the street are directly into the spa.
Okay. Anything else?
No, I'd like it eased up in the corners and as much
Mhm.
vegetation as you can get in there
On the left-hand side there,
on the left-hand side. Yes, please.
which would be the west. You were
Yep.
correct about that. Okay, thank you, Diane. Abby?
I'd like to see the site plan of the, so what is at, I'm trying to figure out what,
You mean
Okay.
like the locust plan?
yeah, the locus, sorry.
Okay, so
Locust.
that if we scroll over to the right a little bit,
Yeah, I see that.
here we go. There you go.
So,
How's that?
Yeah, that's great. Just give me a sec.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yep.
I'm just trying to orient myself on. I think if it were a little more naturalistic on the patio, like Diane suggested, and I think, did Val say something about the left-hand side, or that should definitely be screened? I could almost go for this, but I think it's too wide. I think 12 feet is too wide. That's pushing the spa limits. I would, if it were, 8 by 8 is like a good size for a spa. So if this was shaved down, I think I could go for it. But as dimension now, I think it's too large. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Thank you. I think with regard to the size of the spa, the dimensions, I mean, if it were a pool, I'd have a different opinion of this, but I think that if we're screening this adequately, that the additional few feet that he's asking for wouldn't be so so much worse, assuming that we're not able to see any of this anyway. So I'm in favor of Diane's and Sconset Advisory suggestion to ease the corners, round the corners, so that it's more organic, the terrace that is, and supplement the vegetation along the western edge. Also, Diane and Sconset Advisory. I'd be good with this. So are you able to work with?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, Kadeem.
I would just like to note that it was Holly's comments, not Sunset Advisories.
Oh, that's right. Yes, sorry.
Thank you.
I stand
Now I
corrected.
have a
Thank you.
question.
Nope. Okay, go ahead.
It
Yep.
says old business, but there, was it ever heard? Because if it was, I didn't sit on it the first time.
Sorry, Jesse, could you speak to that? I wasn't quite sure what had happened on Tuesday and
Yeah,
why.
so
we
it
had
was
to-
just, it was held for representation because I wasn't there. So
Okay,
Perfect.
it was never.
It's
heard.
funny, my agenda has it down under new business.
So does mine.
So it's
Yeah.
positioned under new business, but it was a little confusing. I apologize for it. It's just how we had to do it, but I think we're
Okay.
all good.
Yeah, all right. So it's a semantic thing. We can make a
So,
motion
I
on
mean,
this. Oh,
yeah.
go ahead, Jesse. I'm sorry.
I
Yeah,
mean,
go.
I'm sure the client will be okay with the softening of the edges and additional screening. When I met with the client, I just want to add these comments that, this person is not an investor. It's not someone with a bunch of screaming children. They want to go for a run and sit in a larger size hot tub after their run. And they're, so this is, they did want to push it out into the backyard further. And I told them I think it would be much more approvable to put it up closer to the house, and it would be, a better design. With doing that, and it's absolutely not viewable to anywhere. So I don't, I don't see, it's hard for me to swallow, the requests from that standpoint, but at the same time, I don't think the client would have issue with it. So, I
Understood.
think we can go ahead and get this to move along and get it approved.
Okay. So would somebody care to make a motion?
I will
Go ahead.
try. Motion to approve with the corners of the patio being softened
Mhm.
and screening in perpetuity and thereafter.
Okay, I think that covers it. All right, on Val's motion, Diane,
Aye.
very good. Abby,
I'm a nay because I think it borderlines the size of a pool.
okay, that's fair enough. Okay, so you're a nay. Val on your motion,
Aye.
and I'm in favor. So the motion carries 3 in favor, 1 opposed. Thank you, Jesse. Now you're allowed
Thank
to
you.
move back to the other side of the table, I think.
All right, where's my hat? I got to put it on.
That's right. HTC hat. Okay, Elizabeth, your turn. What you got? Another spa?
Yes.
And
Looks
this
like it.
also says old business in parentheses. So what, did somebody sit on it?
Oh, I see what you're saying. OB. No, I think that was just because there was no representation that it was.
No, it looks like there's minutes.
Ray,
This-
just one thing. Ray, you need to
Oh.
recuse. You need to recuse.
Oh.
It's
I do-
the Graham property.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no, I'm so sorry. Okay, but let's just see what you got here. So Abby, you have.
But it was heard before.
Yeah, no, I'm
But
totally getting, but
Yeah.
listen, kids, here's the problem. No quorum. Abby is here, John is not, Diane is here, Stephen and Carrie are not. That's 2 people. So sadly,
But can I waive? Because we're going on 60 days and this thing is gonna, there's a
No,
citizen's warrant.
okay, so the problem, I feel for you. The problem is you don't have any associate members that can come in. Like, you need 3 people. You need to have a quorum sitting on this legally. And you don't have it.
But we had Diane, we had Val, and we had.
Well, no, not according to this.
I don't think I was on it, was I?
You weren't?
No, it says
Uh-uh.
voting.
Yeah,
Camp, sorry, Kadeem shed some
Mr. Chair,
light.
sorry, you're good. You're on it. The minutes are right there. Terry is on it.
Well, when you
Okay.
say I'm on it, you mean that I'm.
You were correct when you were, you know.
Okay, because I'm
the-
definitely not on it.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, don't want to confuse everyone. You were correct when you were reading the voting members. They are what the
Yeah,
minutes say.
so we have a quorum issue, and I have a feeling this is going to come up more than once in today's session. So, very sorry,
Okay.
very sorry.
Just
Okay.
get an
May I
automatic
suggest that
extension or
it
something?
be put on top of the list for next week?
It's already at the top of the list, so it'll stay where it is.
Oh, right, yeah, gotcha.
Thanks, guys.
Great. Well, that was kind of you, Jesse, to
Motion
think
to
about.
hold for a quorum.
Well,
then.
you can't. You can't even,
can't
you
even
can't
open
even
it.
make that motion because
Okay.
you don't have enough people to vote it through, so you just have to pass it by. Okay, so that brings us to item number 3, Brent Young's thing.
And he's not here.
No.
It's a fence. Do we want to just open it?
Yeah, I mean, did we do this before and determine that it was like?
We needed
some-
representation. It's
I
a
think
there-
it's a-
fence.
yes, actually,
You know what?
Mr. Chair, you're correct. We did. We tried that.
It's a 5-foot high fence that's going on right on Main Street in Sconset, and we were like, that doesn't sound right. We need somebody to represent it, almost positive.
Right.
Okay, so we're
That
gonna,
is correct.
yeah, so let's, that one is gone. All right, and now that brings us to, Linda, are you
30
on?
Main Street. Nope, that brings us to 30 Main Street, Mr. Chair.
Oh,
But he's not,
well, wait a sec. 30 Main and Sconset, I understand, but before that, there was the Rich Gillis project, which we didn't hold necessarily because we didn't have Linda to tell us to do so.
I thought,
Val was correct that she had emailed us saying that she is holding it for Tuesday. When I
Oh.
spoke to Rich, he wasn't sure, but we are definitely holding this for Tuesday. So now we're
Okay.
moving. So if you want to hold it, you can, and then we'll move on to 30 Main Street.
Okay, now I totally understand. So do we need a motion to hold that?
I don't think so, but you want to do one anyways, just to make it official?
Let's just make this official. So,
Make the motion.
so thank you, Diane. All right, so Diane's made a motion to hold 38 Prospect until next Tuesday. On that motion, Abby,
aye.
thank you. Diane, on your motion,
Aye.
and I'm in favor too, so that motion carries. So that's that. All right.
TJ is here, so Ezzy, if you want to pull up 30 Main Street, we can get started on that review, Mr. Chair.
Okay, let's see who we have for board members here. Myself, Abby, Diane, oh, alternate Dutra. Okay. So TJ,
Yep, I'm here.
you actually have 4 people because Johnny's missing, Steven's missing, but you have Jesse here. So you can proceed with me, Abby, Diane, and Jesse. Are you okay with that?
We'll go with that.
Okay,
We'll try that out.
let's give it a try.
Okay.
And if it doesn't work out, you can always petition one of these people to read back in.
Be back in.
All right. Okay.
So we did a lot of massaging of this design to help it fit in with the architecture that's there. There's a gambrel house with a kind of a secondary mass being a 12-pitch gable. So we've changed the pitches to match on the 12 pitch. We've addressed the neighbors' concerns by eliminating any 2-story structure within 10 feet of the property line because there's a deed restriction. So you can see on the east elevation, we bumped that 2-story area down to a shed bump out. That's within the 10 foot of the property line.
Okay.
So we're 1 story from there on. We've also eliminated the overhanging porch that you'll see on the west elevation. We've anchored it down with posts instead of the brackets that we had. And we eliminated the kind of the stylish railing that we had proposed that seemed to set off a lot of the board members as inappropriate.
Mhm.
You know, all in all, we've just we've changed things around a little bit, roof pitch and massing wise, and also changed the fenestration there on the west elevation. And we think it's a bit more fitting here as to what's there. And we've also provided, we provided some photos of the site that are very recent photos. I know the neighbor had come with photos that last hearing that we felt didn't do the existing conditions justice because they were taken a long time ago. But you can see here that we have a lot of screening from each direction. That's down by the bocce ball court, a little bit to the side of the pool area. You'll see a lot of privets, especially at the pool area. So when we're talking, I know the neighbor had brought up the subject of light against the building, and I just don't think that's going to be a large factor here once the structure is complete. Especially
Okay.
since we changed the massing around a bit.
Okay, thank you, TJ. Holly.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Yes, so as you all remember that the main dwelling is a circa 1916 colonial revival. The existing garage is being proposed to be added onto is actually dated back from 1923. So it is contributing structure. I will notate, yes, we do have comments from abutters, and I believe they are in attendance today. Sconset Advisory did take a look at this on the 27th, and their concerns are that the revisions don't address previous concerns. The second floor deck is now larger than before. The ridge height is now 1 foot higher. Prior comments by both the HDC and SAB stated the design was inappropriate and should be low to give credibility to the existing garage. And the second floor deck is inappropriate for the size of the building.
Wait a minute.
On the west elevation, there is now more glass than before. And as staff, I would concur with their comments. Those are the comments for your consideration, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Holly. So now I'm going to open this up. It sounds like we might have some neighbors who would like to speak on this application in the queue. If that's true, please unmute yourself and give us your name and address for the record, and I'll give you the floor.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is Chris Stout from 6 Maury Lane,
Okay,
next door.
thank you, Chris.
Great. And first off, definitely appreciate the change in massing on the south side to conform with the deed restriction. There was also a comment from HDC that gambrel style might be considered. But I actually agree that a gambrel probably doesn't fit here, given that there's a couple of gambrels around. So appreciate that wasn't a proposed change as well. So there's some things here that are positive. My comments, I think I simply share the HDC's and SAB's concerns. Last meeting, members of the HDC expressed concerns about a second floor deck on this size building. The deck became bigger. HDC expressed concerns about the extent of the fenestration. The fenestration increased, including on that second floor. And HDC expressed concerns about the structure's height, and the height remains the same or slightly bigger. So actually SAB, I think, covered it, and actually HDC in the last meeting covered it as well. Regarding the screening, reasonable people can disagree, and pictures can tell different stories. If anybody has concerns on the board, a simple drive by the property, I think would give a fair and reasonable outlook. And as always, the truth is probably somewhere in between.
Okay, well, thank you very much, Chris. Is there anyone else in the queue that would like to speak on this application? If so, unmute.
Mr. Chair, this is Rich Peterson, the owner of the property.
Oh, yeah, go ahead, Rich.
Thank you very much, and thank you for your and fellow committee members' time today. I've served similarly in my local community, and it's tireless and thankless, so thank you for your consideration and stewardship. A little bit of context. I purchased the property 5 years ago exactly from Mr. Stout's in-laws. It was promoted during the course of the sale of the property that the potential to put in a pool. And so we, of course, did do that. And that's not the matter before you today, but give some context into whom we bought the property from and what their mindset was about the pool that's been the subject of some conversation. We've tried to be a really good neighbor. The main issue or complaint that we've heard in early years was the sound of the pool equipment. And just to give you a sense of what we've tried to do to be considerate, we took the pool equipment from outside of the garage and actually put it in, and it is elevated up in our garage, and it takes up so much of the garage currently that actually you can't even park the car in the garage. But we've done that along with noise insulation and other things to, in the short term here, before we can have a longer term fix, to address the noise issue. Importantly, on the new design, and I think Mr. Stout will like this, if he's not aware of it, I'm not sure if it's clear on the plans, but at significant expense, we're going to put the pool equipment underground, subterranean, and hope that will further alleviate that issue. Additionally, there was some comment last meeting about nighttime lighting, in particular onto the new structure. I'm committed to not having any new lighting that would shine onto the structure at night. And the last point I want to make is that the second floor, really the half floor above, is going to be for a home gym. It's not going to be for a residence. No one's going to be living there. It is simply for a daytime use. So it's not going to be lit at night. It's not going to be shined upon at night. And so it really will be a daytime use, energy area, if you will. The rest of it is, at grade and as you've seen here. So thank you for letting me just share a little bit of context. And the other thing I'll say is that, as you may know, the property is quite prominent at the corner of Main and Maury. I by right can build a house at 2 Maury Lane, which would be directly next door to Mr. Stout's property. I'm committed not to building a home on that lot and to leaving that very prominent open space at the corner of Maury and Main open for the benefit of the community and benefit for the property. So I hope that this little additional context is helpful to the board in shaping its opinion today.
Okay, thank you, Rich. Anyone else want to speak on this before I turn it over to the board?
Mr. Chairman, if I may, I just would like to, this is Chris Stout again. Yes, thank Rich for his comments, and also definitely should have noted the appreciation for pool equipment going underground. So I think that Rich, I'd love to take you out for a beer sometime when we're back up on the island and chat. But thank you very much for your comments. I appreciate it.
Okay, thanks. Who would like to begin?
I'll begin if you want.
That would be great, Diane. Thank you.
Ray, could I just ask a quick question about, I was muted. Is part of this historic barn, was part of this part of a barn that was there before, or is this a whole new structure?
So Holly is shaking her head no.
Mr. Chair, if I may just address that. You're probably thinking of that late 1800s barn that's in the area. This is not that. This is a garage that is contributing, that was built in the 20s, that's proposed to be added onto. So technically it is contributing and old and historic, but it's not as obviously significant as that old barn that you're thinking of.
Okay,
Hope that helps.
Sorry, Diane, I was muted. I was trying to.
Okay, so we have clarification for you, Abby, but now let's turn it back over to Diane. Go ahead, Diane.
Does Abby want to go on? I don't care.
Why don't you take it, Diane?
All right. All right. What is the height of the building? Please.
TJ?
Give me 1 second.
Oh, actually, hold on. I just saw there we are, 23, just over 23 feet high.
Okay, that is, I appreciate that, keeping under the 24. My major I guess, complaint, whatever, is the amount of windows on the first floor, the four uh, French doors. I don't know if it's just going out to the sort of pool, sort of on Main Street, that it might be less noticeable if there were like two windows with more space in between them. It is an addition onto a garage, and it should be simpler, and I would like to see the up above reduced down to the smaller size that they originally had.
The up above the
Up above
deck?
the front doors, the deck on the
The
second
deck.
floor.
Yeah, yeah. Got it. Okay. Is that it,
Okay.
Diane?
Yeah, I think that's it. I'm not exactly sure what is absolutely could be seen, except remembering when I was out there at Maury and Maine. And there's a lot of different views on different streets that make it, I think, try and keep it as simple as possible from what you see from the streets too. Okay.
Okay. All right, Diane, thank you. Abby, you ready?
Yeah, thank you. I agree with Diane. I'd like to see a simpler version of this, but could I first go to the locust plan? I just want to see what you can see from Maury Lane.
Okay, the locus is not completely helpful. Well, I mean, it does give you the locus, all right? So I think you might want to look at that in conjunction with the site plan.
Yeah, I wanted to see where it was on the site.
Yeah.
to
So
go pretty
there we
far.
are. There we are.
Okay, so it is, okay, so you will see that deck side. I would like to see that simplified with the fenestration. I'm okay with the height, just under the 24 limit. But I do think I would like to see a simpler version of that west elevation, I believe it is.
Yeah, it is west. Yes.
And so I think that could be simplified. So thank you.
Okay. Thanks, Abby. Jesse, it's to you, friend.
Could I see the front elevation, please?
Yeah, I mean, I guess the west is the quote unquote front, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
But it doesn't look like the front. I mean, is there a front door?
Excuse me, Mr. Chair, if I could, this is Rich Peterson. I believe the front, if we're talking about from the street, which is Main Street, is the north side.
Yeah, vis-a-vis Main Street, yeah.
It's down a driveway, everyone, just to remind, that's maybe 100 feet or so.
Longer than that, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
Not
pretty.
doesn't abut the street.
Thank you for the clarification. Yeah. Okay. Continue, Jesse.
I mean, I think the revisions are very helpful, but I also agree with Abby's comments.
Okay. Yes, so do I. I mean, the comments really kind of originated with Sconset Advisory, but I think the main thing for me would be the reduction in the size of the deck on the west side. And if we went to that for just a second, now one of the many issues with Zoom is that I can't take and put my scale down. Can we go to the west elevation for a sec? There we are. Okay. So TJ, there's the very bold dash line that I'm assuming is the second floor, right?
Right.
Okay. And then I see like from the second floor dash line down to the bottom of the deck, which would be the underside of the deck joists.
Right.
I see kind of a minimal amount of space, which would not take into consideration a step down to the deck. Like, is the deck supposed to be flush with the floor?
No, we're gonna have about a 2 to 3 inch step down to that deck.
Okay, so not much.
Not
Because
much.
one thing that I think that would help you is if you had a more appreciable step down, what it's going to do is it's going to make those columns less tall, and it's going to make your 3 feet above the deck lower. So all of that is a net, it's not just a benefit for the HTC, which would make the deck less visually imposing, but it will also be a benefit for your client who's going to have more visibility over the top of the railing. So in addition to sort of a reduction in the size of the overall size of the deck, I would suggest that you look at maybe dropping it down to be a full step below the finished floor rather than 2 or 3 inches. That's the extent of my comment. So should we have some minor revisions on this guy?
Yes, I'll make a motion for minor revisions.
Sounds good, Diane. Thank you. On that motion, Abby.
Aye.
Thank you,
Aye.
Jesse. Great.
Aye.
Thank you. And Diane?
Aye.
Very good. And I'm in favor. Motion carries. Thank you, everyone, for your participation. We'll see you next time. Okay, so that brings us now to new business of December 21st. The winter solstice HTC.
Right.
So do we have somebody? Oh, of course we do. Luke is on board for 2 Lincoln Street.
Yep, thank you. I'm here.
Yep, great. You got everybody. You got all of us, Luke.
Nice.
All right. So you want to do a stone wall at 2 Lincoln.
Yeah. So I did want to show you the existing stone wall that was approved by you guys some time ago, which you can see in the middle of the drawing.
Mhm.
And we'd like to duplicate that particular stonework along the property line as shown in red on the site. And you recently approved the stone patio. So basically, it's there's a retaining wall in the rear that's been there for some time, and now that they're occupying that outdoor area, they just want to replace it with a more finished garden area, which would include that stone wall.
I'm sorry, I missed something. Did you say there's already a retaining wall there?
There's a retaining wall that goes behind the house.
Are we talking about the timber wall that's?
Yeah, the timber
noted?
wall. Yeah.
Okay.
If you look at the photos, what we're doing is it's a continuation.
All right. The one with the big old chimney in it might tell the story, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So behind that, we're looking, it's kind of hard to tell, but it almost looks
It's
like.
actually, yeah, it's more, right now, I guess it's a rolling grade. But it ties into the existing timber retaining wall, which is shown on my drawing, directly behind the house.
So, Luke, top of wall would essentially be where the base of the 5-in-1 fence is, right?
Yeah, I believe I identified they want to match the height of the existing retaining wall. I think it was 30 or 27 inches.
Usually the height of the wall is not consistent across. And this grade is sloping, so. Can you tell us more about the various heights? I see something that says 29-inch wall.
It's gotten so. Oh yeah, so it starts at 29 inches and it's dropping down, I think, with the grade.
Which would imply that it's getting taller, right?
No, it's getting low. It's getting lower.
So 29 is the maximum height.
Right.
And 29 is the maximum height, and that height is closest to the house. And as the wall goes further away from the house, it gets lower.
Right.
Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm getting confused myself.
Well, I'm a little confused because when I look at the picture, it would sort of imply, the photograph would imply that as we get away from the house, the wall actually gets taller, not lower.
Yeah, I think we would want to sensitively roll it down with the grade.
Which would be super. Hey, do
Do
we want to pull Holly into this conversation? Because it could be that Sconset Advisory, and we're going to hear from them anyway. So I'd sort of want to hear what they had to say about this now, as we're trying to figure out what's actually happening with the wall. Holly,
Yes,
you got
Mr.
anything?
Chair.
Thank you.
Yes, sorry. They actually looked at this, and because of it being duplicating the existing wall, there were no concerns. I agree with that, and I would also just, it sounds like what you all were just discussing is making sure that the wall is consistent and kind of tapers down as the elevation tapers down. I did also want to notate that it would have been extremely helpful to know the age of this property. It wasn't annotated on the application, as this is located within the old historic district, but no concerns on the proposed wall as shown.
Interesting.
Thank you,
Okay.
Mr. Chair.
All right, well, that's reassuring. But so here's the funny thing, and this picture at the lower left corner kind of tells the story. If I'm reading this correctly, there ain't no wall. It's like it looks like a sloped grade to me.
Yeah, it's a slope
Like
grade.
a berm.
Yeah. So is it replacing a retaining wall or is this new?
Well, you can also see though that the fence is it continues sort of high up.
Yeah.
How about this? The other thing I would point out is that they did ask me to include in that there's going to be significant buffer, vegetative buffer. I think I showed that on my site plan to help reduce its visibility. Not that it won't be invisible, but yeah, if you look at actually that middle plan sort of says it all, because I think that, sorry, the middle photograph, and that if you look at that fence, that's the height, that's the property, the adjacent
Yeah,
property
so-
high ground.
I'm actually not sure that does say it all, because to Holly's point earlier, it sounded like it was to replace an existing wall, but I'm not seeing an
No, we're
existing
not replacing
wall.
existing wall. We're continuing the PT wall, which is existing and is shown on my site plan and is behind the house, but it's further back from that patio area.
So can I say something? If I were to measure from the grade at the bottom of the fence down to the bottom of the bermed area, I would say it's at least 27 inches, perhaps more, like approaching like 3 feet.
Yeah.
Yeah, look at the chair.
I mean, take that berm and pretend that it's a wall for a moment. It's not insubstantial. Can I offer you a suggestion, Luke?
Sure.
You're trying to get more space for your patio, right? That's why you're taking the bermed area and you're pushing it back and retaining, right?
I think, not really. I think,
What's the
Just to look
purpose?
nicer.
There must be some
I think it's
purpose.
just to make it a more of an outdoor space with a more of a finished
Okay,
enclosure.
so why don't you split the baby? Like, why don't you just not bring the wall all the way back so that it has to be the full height to the bottom of the fence, but allow the grade to taper down so that the wall isn't quite so high?
Yeah, I think that's fine. I think we should be
Okay.
rolling with the grade to a natural, to its, as naturally one would do.
Okay,
What if we put a staff, or what if you were to suggest something along the lines of starting at the height of the existing PT
I'm going
wall?
to simplify what you're about to say. Why don't we put a maximum height of wall 27 inches?
Okay,
And then whatever it works out to be with your grade on top of the wall that allows you sloping and stuff will dictate where the wall goes so that you can maintain it as a maximum of 27 inches, which I think is reasonable.
Yeah, that's fine.
That sound okay?
Mhm. Yeah.
All right, well, you know, the chair is always the last person to speak, you know, Robert's rules and all that stuff, right? Okay, so I'm going to turn it over to the board members to see what we have to say about this. Who wants to start?
I'll start. I wanted to ask a question if I might.
Yeah, go ahead.
On the photographs, the top one on the right, it says existing stone wall. Where is that?
Oh, it's on the other side of the yard.
Oh, yeah. It's
Driveway.
it's by the garage and driveway.
Okay,
Yeah.
I because you wanted to use it as a model, it is good. And the next thing I wanted to know was on the second picture down, on the left, you have two funny things of I don't know what it is. It's a planting and they look, see the planting? But yeah, what are those? They're separated
I
and
think-
they are the same length. I wondered what they were.
I really don't, I'm not sure what they're thinking.
It's dead privet.
Dead
It's
privet.
little,
Yeah.
just planted privet. Yeah.
What,
But it doesn't go with anything else. So I didn't know what they were thinking of something else going there afterwards. Otherwise, I would agree with you with the fence starting at 27 and going down as low as possible towards the street.
Okay, Diane, thank you. Val?
Yeah, I think that the stone matches what's already on the site. I'm not sure I understand how it will work because it seems like it gets higher. And the plan, when you zoom in on it, says the existing wall is 16 inches, but I'll go along with whatever you guys tell me is gonna work.
Okay, thank you, Val. Abby?
So I'm less confused, but I think the important thing here is not to see the patio from New Street. And I think that's where Diane was going with what are those things there? And I think you have proposed some trees that where the stone wall takes an L there that comes across New Lane, where it
Yeah, what
makes
the-
a little return.
yeah, the owners were suggesting to me that they were gonna do significant native shrubs and planting. Those were the words they used to, additionally buffer
Mhm.
perspective from the street. Keeping
Right.
in mind that the street is quite a bit lower than the,
Right, that brings me to my next question is, when it makes that return on New Street, how big a wall is that going to be? Because it does drop down quite, it's quite a steep hill there, and it's always been, and the site beside it has been a precarious place to landscape in that it's very steep going down, so I think we should be specific about the shrubs, what it's going to hide, and the height of that stone wall at, I know you're saying nothing over 29, but I don't. I'm tiny bit confused on what this is going to look like. So that's all I got.
Okay, thank you. Jesse?
Yes, sorry. I'm okay with this application. If you look at the elevations on the site plan, it's not dropping as bad as it is in front of the yard. You've got maybe a foot, maybe of drop between the beginning of the wall and the end of the wall. I like Ray's 27-inch rule. And we keep the noted stone native as the existing wall and a natural cap along with the native screening. I think it's going to be a better improvement than what you see now.
Okay, thank you very much, Jesse. So I think that we would be safe if we just basically said the maximum wall height will be 27 inches, which I think is reasonable. The rest of the, whatever grade change there is would be taken care of with a berm or a slope down the way it's doing right now. And then we'd sort of be protected, and the obvious consequence is that this wall will taper down. It has to because of the height of the patio. So 27 is the very most that you'll ever see, and then it'll go to less and less as you get further closer to New Street. So I think that's plausible, but would somebody care to make a motion for me?
I'll make that motion.
Okay, so the motion, I guess, would be approve the wall in the type of stone that already currently exists on the site, and have a maximum height of wall of 27 inches and for it to taper off from there. That's the motion?
Yeah.
Okay, very good. On Diane's motion, Val.
Aye.
Thank you, Abby.
I'm an A.
Okay, thank you, Jesse.
Aye.
Very good. Diane, on your motion?
Aye.
Okay, thank you, Diane. So the motion carries 4 in favor, 1 opposed. Thank you, Luke. We'll see you in a minute, maybe really shortly. Is Chuck here? Chuck Lenhart?
I am here, Ray.
Oh, you are? Okay, great, fantastic. Okay, so what about this new shed that you're trying to get away with at 14 Dukes Road?
So this is a small shed. It's a 16 by 20 shed, I believe.
Okay,
It sits in the very back left corner of the property.
okay,
And it's one of those kind of kit sheds where the 2 elevations that would be visible in the distance from the street have shingles. And the other 2 elevations are the vertical board and batten to weather.
Motion to approve.
sounds good to me. Okay, thanks, Val. On Val's motion, and because I haven't allowed anyone else to speak, if anyone has any concerns, they're welcome to voice them as we do our vote. On Val's motion, Diane.
Aye.
Very good. Abby.
Well, that's a regular size shed? Like that's the size, 14 by 20? Is that like,
It's actually 16 by 20. So we're
Like the size of a garage.
correct. Yeah.
right?
It's at the way back.
Yeah, it's in the way back. Yeah, okay, I'll go along with it.
You're good. So Abby's in. Jesse.
Aye.
Very good. And Val on your motion.
Aye.
And I'm in favor. Motion carries. Thank you, Chuck.
Thank you.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Thanks. Okay, Luke, we're back to you, friend, at 16 Cliff Road with another shed.
Cliff. Yeah, this
These
is,
sheds are becoming the scourge of Nantucket. Just like
That
pools.
Pools.
They should
That-
outlaw sheds.
So
except
Ray,
some of
what did Val say about a shed the other day? That there was a type of shed that there's certain dimensions that. it's
Well,
possible-
okay, so there's a zoning shed, which is
Yeah.
exempt from zoning. It has to be under 200 square feet, okay?
Okay.
Now,
And it
people were
can't be
playing
a
all
certain
kinds of
height.
games about like the shed and trying to make it 2 stories and everything. So they modified it to have it have a maximum ridge height so that nobody could like sneak in a second floor. So that's the rule she was talking about.
And the height is what?
I
What is
believe
that?
it's 15.
I think it's 15 feet to the
Okay.
ridge. Yeah, which totally prevents you from, unless you build like a little skinny skyrocket, it's impossible to do a second floor on that. Okay, so now Luke has, hopefully that was helpful. Luke has this shed going right here on Cliff Road. So anything, well, let's look at the drawings, but it's at the corner of Folger and Cliff. Okay, and let's see what it's looks like.
so, yeah, this is in conjunction with another application which Carrie's moving some fencing around, but it's located here for the owner to use for bicycles.
Mhm.
You'll see on the next application how they adjusted the gate and the fencing to keep the dogs out. But yeah, it's to provide easy access without going into the property and I guess letting the dogs out.
Do we have a locus on this one? I know that we do on page 2. Okay. Oh, yeah, right there. Okay, got it.
We
boy,
have-
Does this fall within HSAB?
Yes,
Yes.
Mr. Chair, it does.
Okay, thought so.
So for context sake, this is 16 Cliff Road is a typical Nantucket built in circa 1757. So obviously a pretty significant historic structure within our old historic district. HSAB took a look at this and they said that the proposed shed is small and simple, but it should not be so close to the street. There is plenty of room elsewhere on the property. So that would be the recommendation to move it away, farther away from the placement that's shown. And those are our comments, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
Okay, thanks. Who would like to start?
I will.
Thank you.
That was my only concern as well. I walked up there this morning and there really are no little structures this close to the road. Perhaps if it was screened by some of the hedge that you see there, if that, came across in back of the fence or something, but yeah, it's the placement on the site that is an anomaly.
Well, it would be right there behind that post on the left.
Yeah.
It is behind the hedge, but
What'd you say there? You said it was behind the hedge?
I'm taking this over for Carrie, but so I'm looking at the same photographs you are, but that, yeah, it is behind the hedge, which is right, right next to the fence.
I agree with that, except to Val's point, like, because this driveway curves, if that shed were sitting there right now, we'd see the privet to the left and we'd see the face of the shed, like kind of right there, right there. So anyway, Val, it sounds like your only concern is its location, right?
Yes.
And you're suggesting as a remedy to that to bring the privet down.
Well, either that or you see, I don't know what the setback has to be, but
For a
if
shed?
it was tucked into the very corner in back of that hedge, you wouldn't see it in that if you moved it.
Oh, you mean like move it closer to the road?
Well, you just wouldn't see it then.
No, I'm understanding what you're saying, because if you move it closer to the road, then you have more space to move it back away from the driveway.
Correct.
Yeah, that's pretty clever. That's pretty clever. In fact, you could almost run the privet like in front of it and just have the doors like cut into the privet sort of thing.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's a good idea. Who wants to go next?
I'll go.
Yes, go ahead, Diane.
I don't know. I think this is a historic building. I don't know whether it's in the old historic district or just outside of it.
It's inside.
I would like to see it back further where you could see the picture of the cars parking and not being hidden, because we're hiding everything. And if something doesn't grow, it's right there and it's not going to be moved. If we have a thing that says the shed shouldn't be down there on the sideline, then I would move it back, because we have not even addressed the gates. So I would like to see it moved back. You could tuck it in the corner. If it's just for bicycles, they can walk with their bicycle more than 5 feet and not perpetrate another thing down on the street.
Okay. Thank you, Diane. Abby.
Yeah, I'm in a really grumpy mood, I guess. So I think this takes away from the historic house, and yet yes, it's just for bicycles. Well, what a wonderful thing! But it's taking away from the presence of this house on Cliff Road. So I would rather see it way in the back, or if it could be tucked around the corner, okay. Make a little muddy corner there. But the view that of the photograph that shows the driveway and the house is just, I just don't want to spoil that view. So I'm a nay.
Okay. Thank you, Jesse. You there, Jesse?
I'm talking away on mute.
Ah,
So it's, Abby's point is valid, and I think I'd like to see what Val did and see if we can't move it forward and get it screened in front of the driveway so it's less visible. And I know it's a tiny little shed, but I think that's what makes this shed acceptable, because it just kind of reminds me of something more cute than utilitarian. But if you could make it smaller, it could possibly work, especially if you're trying to do it on the width side. I don't know. It may get too skinny and not look right, but I'd like to see a revision of maybe moving it forward and screening it some more.
okay. Thank you very much, Jesse. So Luke, I'm not going to confuse things further. I think there have been, there have obviously been some concerns voiced and some possible remedies to those concerns. So I'm going to leave it to you to decide what you want to do with this. So can somebody make a motion to hold for revisions?
I'll make a motion. to
Thank you,
hold-
Diane, for revisions. Okay, on that motion, Val,
Aye.
Abby,
Aye.
Jesse,
Aye.
Diane on your motion,
Aye.
and I'm in favor too. Okay, so let's check out the fence and the gate now.
So probably we ought to track this, if it moves at all, with the
Hmm,
provisions for the house, because it's related to
oh,
the gate locations are related to the structure of the shed.
right, but so what you want to do here, just so that we know, is you want to move the gates back into the property.
Yeah, the idea here was to isolate the bike area and quadrant in the dogs, I think.
Yeah. Okay, that's an interesting concept. So do you want us to hold this?
I think so, yeah.
Okay,
Mr. Chair,
yes.
could I read HSAB's comments? Because I think they would
Yeah, I think it would be
helpful for
beneficial
revisions.
to Luke to know where it's going. Yes, that would be great.
Thank
So why
you.
don't we just do that? Yeah.
So again, for the record, this main dwelling is a circa 1757 typical Nantucket within the old historic district. The proposed recessed gate with the flanking fences is very unusual and inappropriate. It essentially provides a parking space right off the sidewalk, where there's already plenty of parking elsewhere on the lot. The original gate is more in keeping and should remain. Also, if you look at the site plan, there's also the proposed brick apron within the middle of the shell driveway, which is very odd and not in keeping with how driveways are done. So I agree with HSAB's comments. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Okay, thanks. I thought the brick apron was something that was there, but I was in error.
No.
So Luke has earlier suggested that we just hold this to track what they plan to do with this shed, which I think is a super good idea. If everybody's okay with that, I'd love a motion to.
I'll make a motion for this application to track the shed, and a few more photographs, please, or drawings, a little more detail on
Mhm.
the house, because it is a historic house, and I just want to make sure I make the right decision. I mean,
Mhm.
as we all do,
Okay. Sounds
my
great.
motion.
All right, so that is Abby's motion. On the motion, Diane.
Aye.
Thank you. Val.
Aye.
Very good. Jesse.
Aye.
Thank you. And Abby on your
Aye.
motion. All right. And I'm in favor too. Motion carries. Okay. So I was looking down the queue, but is there anybody here to represent 22 Atlantic? I didn't see any people that might. So I'm going to take that as a no. And I'm also not sure that I saw anybody to represent the shed in Codfish Park. Is that true?
I think the fence one is pretty simple.
The 22 Atlantic Ave?
Yeah, it's a picket fence to match what's on the street and then a gate.
Here, let's take a look at it.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, it is fairly simple, and she actually emailed Esmeralda at like 7:35 on Tuesday, right after we logged off. So it'd be great if we could just look at this
Here,
one.
let's just go. I'd love to knock a few things off the list. Yeah, that would be great. Okay, so here we are at Atlantic Avenue, the neighbor next door.
There's already hedges there. They just want to bring the fence along the two sides and then put a gate between the hedges.
Fence. 11 feet, 3 feet, gate. Uh-huh. Yep. Okay. Is this HSAB territory?
It wasn't reviewed, Mr. Chair, by HSAB, but obviously we can tell this is a 1920s bungalow that it's associated with.
Yeah.
I don't particularly see any concerns, although if that gate that's being proposed is not opaque, it doesn't seem like it's consistent with that type of fencing, but other than that, those are the comments.
Yeah, that is interesting because the gate is opaque, unlike the fencing.
Correct.
Yeah.
That's what I meant.
Right. So I think that, well, I'm not going to speak for the board. Val, you want to continue?
Sure. I think with the exception of the gate, it's definitely approvable, and perhaps we could say the gate be the same as the picket fence, like a picket gate. And if they want to come back and change it, they can come back and change it.
I think that was probably just an oversight. They were probably just taking a picture of a gate that happened to be someplace. But I'm with you on that. If no one has any objections to that, maybe we could move this along. Do you want to make a motion, Val?
Sure.
Can I just ask a question? Is
Yeah, of course. Sorry, Diane. Go ahead.
the picket fence they're proposing the same as the picture we saw of the picket fence right next to it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, if we scroll down to number 8, there you go.
Okay, just as long as it went by quickly, I just wanted to make sure it
Hmm.
was the same gap as the other one. That's fine. I'm
Okay.
for it.
Okay. So Val, that was your motion, right?
Yes, my motion is to approve with the gate becoming matching the
Matching
picket
the
fence.
fence. Matching the picket fence. Okay. So that was Val's motion. On that motion, Diane.
Yes, aye.
Thank you. Great. Abby?
Yeah, with the type 2 picket fence. gate.
Correct. Yes. Jesse?
Yes. Aye.
Very good. Thank you. Val, on your motion?
Aye.
And I'm in favor too. Motion carries. Okay, so that's 22 Atlantic. And the new shed at Codfish Park, we should probably skip, right?
I would think HSAB would want to weigh in on that.
Yeah, Holly, I believe they did review it. So Holly, what do you think?
We do have comments from Sconset Advisory. I could read them if you want to move
Why
for the
don't you
board.
just read them, and judging from how critical they are of the proposal, we'll decide either to hold it or for rep or look at it.
Okay, Mr. Chair. So Sconset took a look at this on the 27th. They said it's vertically too stretched. It could
Stop
come
right
down
there.
some.
That's all we need to know. So there's enough controversy here so that I'm going to request one of the board members to motion for representation.
I'll hold for representation.
Thank you, Diane. On that motion, Val,
Aye.
Abby,
Aye.
Jesse,
Aye.
Diane on your motion,
Aye.
and I'm in favor. Okay, so that's that. Now, did I see Bill McGuire? in the
Bill is,
queue?
yeah, Bill is in the queue, Mr. Chair.
Yes,
Okay.
I'm here.
All right, so let's go to 98 Tom Nevers Road.
Oh, this is the one we looked at and he was gonna show us his,
Yeah, the garage door.
yeah.
Ah, right.
Although these don't look like the proper drawings.
Ah,
Hey, Bill, if you have the correct
Yes.
drawings, do you just want to share your screen?
No, old dog, new tricks. I don't know how to do that.
Okay, so Mr. Chair, we might have
But
to
we can
hold
hold
on.
this over. That's fine.
Yeah, if you
Well,
don't mind, Will or Bill, we can put this on for Tuesday.
Yeah, I sent them yesterday morning as per your request on Tuesday.
If I may, through the chair, this is Esmeralda. I think I found them. Would it be okay if we share them? I think.
oh gosh, if you have
Nope.
them.
Go,
I
Ez.
I lied.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
lied. Wrong ones. Sorry.
It's okay.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
So let's make it official and just hold this one for Tuesday, Mr. Chair.
But look, I thought that we got the drawings.
Nope, Ez just said she lied, so I don't think we have the drawings. Correct, Ez?
Correct. Sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought
My
you were
mistake.
lying when you said that you lied.
Motion
Okay,
to
so I
hold
guess,
for Tuesday for the
thank you,
correct.
thank you. Okay, so
garage
on Val's
doors.
motion, Diane,
Aye.
Abby,
Aye.
Jesse,
Aye.
Val on your motion.
Aye, 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 aye.
Yeah, and I'm in favor too. Okay. See you, William. Happy New Year.
Okay, thank you guys. Have a good
Thank
New
you.
Year's.
Thanks, you too.
Mr. Chair, I don't see Edith Anderson. It's for replacing windows. I say we just open it.
Hey, if you guys think it's all right, I'll go for it. I'd love to knock some things off. 15 Hawthorne, let's check it out.
And it's not all of them, it's just some of them.
Correct.
Window
It's
to be
super simple, I
replaced.
think.
So it looks like that small window. The group, yeah, thank you. That small window would have a picture unit with casements on either side. Is that it? Like
That
seriously?
appeared to be all there was.
That's it, right?
Yes,
Looks like that. Looks like that's it, Mr. Chairman.
and you
Okay,
can't see that from
yeah,
the street, so.
right, let's go then.
Promise.
Yes, it's the back of it. It's behind the bump that goes into the mudroom.
Somebody want to make a motion? There it is right there. Okay, so somebody want to make a
Motion to approve as submitted.
Okay, Val has made that motion. On the motion, Diane.
Aye.
Thank you. Abby.
Aye.
Very good. Jesse.
Sorry, aye.
That was an aye. Okay, and Val on your motion?
Aye.
And I'm in favor. Motion carries. Okay.
All right,
how-
Mr. Chair.
Yes.
Our next one is 3 Beaver Street. We're going to hold that for Tuesday. They had another one on Tuesday that they were holding off, also for 3A, I believe. So we're going to be
Correct.
holding this one as well.
Okay, so motion, can I have a motion to hold?
Motion to hold 3A Beaver Street to Tuesday.
Very good. So on that motion, Val,
Aye.
Abby,
Aye.
Jesse,
Sorry, aye.
there we are. Thank you. And Diane on your motion?
Aye.
And I'm in favor too. Okay, so we're back to Luke Thornwell. 24 Almanac.
Luke, we're ready for you.
Yeah,
Mhm.
okay. Well, this is an existing pool house. It was built in 1984. And
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
it's actually, it's a very unusual structure. And I have to say that probably one of the most beautiful structures I've been inside of. And it's just the architect did an astounding job. So the question was, how do I approach that if this new owner requires an addition to it? And I felt like the appropriate approach was I initially did look at more of a standard gable, which I thought looked terrible. So I chose rather to point back towards the original structure in a much more minor way and duplicate it as a secondary mass. So this is turning from a studio into a second from a cabana studio that's looking towards the pool, which I think you guys approved not long ago with Elizabeth to become a second dwelling.
I didn't see this or a link to it, so I'd like to view it.
Okay. You know the building, right?
No.
Oh, it's interesting. It's very conspicuous it's like the first building that you see after the bogs when you go down Almanac Pond Road, like right there next to what appears to be a pond. I agree with Luke. Listen, it's very atypical of Nantucket, but it's extraordinarily well done. There it is right there. But so I would certainly be fine if people wanted to educate them. Luke, this addition is going away from Almanac Pond Road, correct?
No, it's coming towards it.
Oh, it is. Okay. All right. Okay. So how does everybody feel about that? Do you want to view this, folks?
Yeah, I think it would be good.
Okay. Then let's move to view. Okay.
Okay,
All right. Is that your motion, Val?
Sure, yes.
Okay. On the motion, Diane,
aye.
Abby,
Aye.
very good. Jesse
Aye.
and Val on your motion,
I,
and I'm in favor. Okay, motion carries. How about 26 New Street?
So this is some modifications to what was approved before. And right now you're looking at the rear of this. The HGC approved drawing is the miniature below, and so we're reducing the number of windows and going back to 8/12s, which is well, certainly on this little right-hand mass, which is typical to what's on the front of the house. And then we added a window to the left of the kitchen door on the south elevation.
Okay.
On the east elevation, change the window size for in the rear.
Let's see. There we are. Okay.
Front doesn't change at all.
Front does not change.
The
And in the west elevation, you got a couple of, like, you're going from double French doors to a single plus a 6/9 or a 8/12, sorry. And the double goes to 1 8/8.
Yeah.
That's kind of the extent of that. Okay. Does everybody get it?
yep.
All right.
I
Comments?
would,
Yeah.
comment would be that it's fine.
Yeah,
Okay.
me too.
Me three.
Okay. So how about one of you lovely folks turn that into a motion for me?
I make a motion to approve it as submitted.
All right. Thanks so much. Okay. On Diane's motion, Val,
I,
Abby,
Aye.
Jesse,
Aye.
Diane, on your motion,
Aye.
and I'm in favor, motion carries. Okay, there's that. There you
Mr.
go, Lou.
Chairman,
Yes,
so I have some great news. Bill is in the queue for 2 Spring, and that's the last one we'll be doing today. 2 Spring Street, number 14.
okay, very good. Do we need to hold the two in between?
Yes, please. No one's here, so we're just holding for rep.
Okay, so y'all get that. Items 12 and 13 on new business, we want to hold for representation, okay?
I'll make that motion.
Thank you, Val. On the motion, Diane,
Aye.
Abby,
Aye.
Jesse,
Aye.
Val,
Aye.
I'm in favor. Okay, now we are to
I thought we
Uh,
approved this.
2 Spring.
Oh, if we
Yes,
did, then
we
we're
did.
done. Look at
We
that, then
did.
we're done.
Wait,
So
wait. We did
No,
all.
that was
Oh,
unanimous.
yeah, we
Happy
did.
New
we did.
Year.
Yeah.
we did it again. We finished 2 meetings in 1 week.
I can't believe it. That's so
Yeah,
crazy.
we're done.
Okay.
Everything else is being held until Tuesday, so we can
Yeah,
make
right.
that
I
official.
mean, Linda's gone. Yeah, okay. So we don't need to take any action on that because it's already approved. Okay. Well, everybody, this is it. This is the
Yeah,
last
believe
meeting
it,
of
have it done.
last meeting of 2021.
Happy New Year, everybody.
Yeah.
Happy New Year.
Thanks. You
I'm
too.
gonna
See you
pray
next
to the
year.
meeting gods that we get out of this mess.
Yeah, we're doing okay, though. I got to say, I'm feeling really good about, we have a slew of new business on the next one, but I think we're doing okay. Hey, listen, I hope you all have a great new year, and thank you all so much. And we'll see you in 2022.
See you next
Thank
year.
thank you for being chairman.
Everybody.
Did you adjourn?
We do need a
Oh,
yeah, we
motion
need
to
a-
adjourn.
Thank you, Diane, for that lovely comment. So how about a motion to adjourn?
I just made one.
You did? Okay, so you're not Diane. On Val's motion, Diane.
Aye.
There
Aye.
you go. Abby,
Aye.
Jesse,
Aye.
Val on your motion,
Aye.
and I'm in favor.
Okay.
Okay, everybody, to all good.
Happy New
night.
Year, everyone.
Yeah, thanks.
Happy
You
New
too.
Year.
Happy
Peace.
New Year, everybody. Thank you all.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Oh, right.